Lane Johnson and Zach Brown, now teammates and quickly burying the hatchet. Of course, Lane once said the Eagles were going to whoop the Browns Redskins back in 2017. And Brown responded by bringing up Johnson's PED suspensions. But they're now letting bygones be bygones. Lane tweeting out, "Talking bleat is part of the game, putting our history in the past. Teammates now, one goal at Zach Brown." And Brown would reply, "LOL, yeah, it is big homie. Let's get it done this year. Hashtag respect. Hashtag fly, Eagles fly." And on that note, we welcome you to Quick Slants presented by Nissan for Dave Zangaro. I'm Derek Gunn. I guess they're going to bury the hatchet. Why can't we be more like those two?
I don't want to be like that. It's more fun when we're battling.
Can't we just let bygones be bygones, man? Can't we just move on? I can't even tell that loud with a straight face.
How much fun would it be in training camp if they hadn't buried the hatchet and these two guys are just going at each other every day?
We need some controversy. We need some drama, man.
It'd be
this
fun.
team's too vanilla, man.
I get it though. You know, these are two proud guys. They were defending their own teams when this happened a couple years ago. Lane was right, by the way. They did go down there and beat up on them.
Whooped their butts, didn't they?
It was 30-17 in that game.
Oh man.
But I mean, not a big deal, right?
No. All right, Zach Brown, one of many players brought in by Howie Roseman this offseason, but interesting to note that the VP of Football Operations seems to have an affinity for guys that were originally drafted here. Here's what I'm talking about. This offseason, the Birds brought back Deshaun Jackson, who was drafted in 2008 and left prior to the 2014 season. They also brought back Vinny Curry after a one-year hiatus down in Tampa. Curry was a part of Roseman's 2012 draft class, ended on Friday. The team claimed defensive back Blake Countess off waivers. He was originally drafted by Howie in 2016, but did not make the roster out of camp. Well, today on WIP, Roseman was asked if he has an affection for guys the team drafted.
I have an affection for winning. That's the only thing I have affection for. I don't have a bias towards anything that's not going to make us better. And in my 1 year sabbatical, I went down and I spent time with Ron Wolf, and he gave me this example about how he drafted a defensive lineman named Jamal Reynolds, and he traded up for this player. And after 2 years, he realized that it was a sunk cost. He had to move on. And so for us, we're not going to bring back anyone who can't help us, who we really don't feel like helps our football team. I promise you, Angela, that's all we're trying to do here is try to help our football team and bring players in who can help our team.
And, of course, the Ron Wolf he's talking about was highly respected in the Packers organization at the time. Dave, what do you think about what Howie just said in terms of, I know we're bringing back our guys, but I'm all about winning, man?
Yeah, I think there are two sides to this debate, right? On one side, of course, you're bringing in players you're familiar with. There's an advantage in that. You know how those guys fit on the field. You know how they fit off the field in the locker room, and that matters a lot to these Eagles. They want to make sure these guys work well together off the field. But the flip side of this is, does nostalgia take over? Because if nostalgia's driving you, if, for instance, and I'm not saying this is what they did,
right,
but say you bring in Vinny Curry because you think, oh, well, Vinny Curry helped us win a Super Bowl. Well, that's where you get yourself into some trouble. You can't think like that. But every team brings in players based on familiarity, whether it's they played there before or they played for this coach or that coach. It all plays a role, and it is an advantage to know these players inside and out. As long as you don't let nostalgia drive you, I think it's okay.
I look at it like I think there's a method to Howie's madness. I mean, when you look at the Vinny Curry situation, you don't know about the certainty of Chris Long, so bring in somebody who already knows Jim Schwartz's system. Obviously, you can't overlook the fact what he helped do for this team in 2017. Deshaun Jackson, what's the one thing that we've been clamoring for the last couple of years? Them finding a guy that can stretch the field. It didn't work out with a couple of guys they brought in here, Torrey Smith and Mike Wallace, for whatever the case may be. We know what Deshaun is capable of doing. We look at his numbers, and even at this stage of his career, the numbers are still quite impressive, even though his overall catches and touches have dwindled through the years. Blake Countess, I think that's more for depth, so more to see, more so than anything else. I mean, they have a lot of cap space, but still, he doesn't cost them, which tells me there still could be even one or two more moves coming down the road. So I understand what Howie's saying, and I agree with you. Every team does this. I mean, why go out and get something new if you already have something that's tried and proven and tested for you?
Yeah, and it seems like these players, it kind of lined up with what they needed, right? Deshaun's a speed guy. They needed that. They needed depth at defensive end. Here comes Vinny Curry. Now they need depth at safety, so you add Blake Countess. down to is it's not like they're adding at positions where they don't need it. So to me, it makes sense. And like you said, every team does this to some extent.
Sure. Yeah.
It seems like the Eagles might be doing it a little bit more, but we'll see.
All right. One guy the Eagles are hoping to get back on the field for the start of next season is Brandon Brooks. He tore his Achilles in a playoff loss to the Saints. As for his recovery, check out this tweet he sent out yesterday. Had a special moment today. Was on the treadmill and had my last sprint at 14 miles per hour and had the whole weight room full of teammates cheering me on. Our group is special, and I sincerely mean that. I thank God for teammates, coaches, and fans. Hashtag Fly Eagles Fly. Just an awesome message, Dave. Do you see Brandon Brooks getting back to his Pro Bowl form this season?
Yeah, well, first off, that is really cool, and I wish we could have seen that moment. It sounded like it was a special moment. I'm not going to bet against Brandon Brooks.
Right.
It seems like at every stage in his recovery, he's been doing really well. The videos that he's been posting, pretty incredible when you think about how far along he is from tearing his Achilles. I do wonder, even if he is completely healthy, 100% healthy at the start of week 1, is he going to be completely back? A guy who's 330 pounds. I wonder that early in the season. Ultimately, though, I expect him to be back at Pro Bowl form. He's still just 29. He doesn't turn 30 until this summer. He's got a lot of good football left in him. The last Eagles Pro Bowl offensive guard was Evan Mathis. He didn't even make it to his only 2 Pro Bowls until he was in his 30s. And that's kind of this league. I mean, offensive linemen can play a lot longer than some other positions. He seems to take care of his body. He's kind of a freak athlete for his size. I expect a lot of good football to come from him in the next few years.
The fact that he's on a treadmill this soon is incredible in itself when you consider a man of that stature, 6'5", like 330 pounds. You look at how long it took Sidney Jones to really get back from his injury, and you look at the size of a Sidney Jones. And this is a guy whose livelihood is predicated on being able to push off and hold his ground with that thing. I don't expect him to be that Pro Bowl caliber guard coming out of the gate, but if he can stay healthy, I think as the season wears on, we're going to see him get back to that so-called Pro Bowl level, which of course would be conducive for the Eagles in terms of having him at his best at the most crucial point of a season.
Yeah, well, we saw how much they missed him just in that playoff game.
Oh, no question about it.
He went out. I mean, he's a really good player. He's one of the best guards in the entire league. They need him on the field, so that's another reason you can't rush him back. I mean, if he's not 100% healthy, there's no way he should be on the field. You have to make sure he's back because you're not going to need him in September as much as you need him in December.
Do you think, though, that he will be on that field in September?
It's tough right now. I mean, based on what we've seen, yeah. It's hard to go against him, but like I said, if he's not 100%,
right,
he shouldn't be anywhere near a football field.
All right, the Eagles are hoping to sign Carson Wentz, of course, to a long-term deal. Ditto for the Cowboys and their quarterback, Dak Prescott, according to a report in the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Jerry Jones is sold on Dak, and the boys reportedly are willing to pay Dak close to $30 million a year. Dave, are you sold on Dak Prescott being worth that kind of money?
Here's what I'll say. I like Dak Prescott.
Right.
I think he's an above-average quarterback, and I don't want to knock him. He's won, 67 touchdowns and 25 picks.
Yes.
32-16 record. He's gotten to the playoffs. He's a good player. But for a long time, I've said the downfall for the Cowboys is going to be when they have to pay Dak Prescott, because if they pay him near $30 million a year, they're paying him to be an elite quarterback. And he's just not. He's not an elite quarterback. He's an above-average quarterback. He's a good player. He's not worth that kind of money. And you can afford to pay him basically nothing now and win with him because you can now supplement the roster with other players that make money. But when you go from a 4th-round draft pick salary to making $30 million a year, that's a huge jump for a player who's good, not great.
But isn't that what the market calls for nowadays? We keep getting wowed by these numbers they keep giving quarterbacks.
And I don't know if they have a choice. That's the terrible position they're in because they can't move on from him because he's been too good to do that. He's proven himself to the point where they have to pay him. The problem is the market dictates they have to overpay him, and they're going to kind of be mired in this mediocrity because of it. It's not a great situation to be in, honestly.
Prior to that getting to Dallas, the team was 4-12. His first year, they go 13-3.
Yeah.
He's given them 3 consecutive winning seasons. As you just mentioned, 32 wins. No other quarterback has more wins than him over the last 3 years since he's been in the league. Also, you look at his numbers. 19 rushing touchdowns by a quarterback, most in the NFL in the time he's been in the game. His completion percentage, 66%. You talked about the 67 touchdowns, only 25 interceptions. The 32 wins. It's unbelievable what he's done. But we both know that's more so because of the people around him more so than him. The one big negative I have about a Dak Prescott is I think he holds the ball too long, too many times. He's been sacked 113 times in 3 years, 56 long, too many times. He's been sacked 113 times in 3 years, 56 this past season, and a lot of it is brought on himself because he's not sure of what he's seeing down the field. Now, if Dallas continues to surround him with the likes of a stellar offensive line, Ezekiel Elliott, and it's going to make him look good. But if a Jimmy Garoppolo is worth $137 million, what is a Dak Prescott worth?
I don't know. And whatever he's worth, they're going to have to pay him more.
Yeah.
And that therein really lies the problem. A piece of the pie.
Yeah.
And right now, he's taking up a sliver of it. Pretty soon, he's going to be taking up a big chunk of that pie, and it's going to be a lot tougher to make a good team around him.
All right, here's $1 million question because I know it's coming.
It might be a $100 million question.
Is he worth more? Will he get more than Carson Wentz?
No. No, I don't
Really?
think so. I mean, we've seen the ceiling for Carson Wentz is best player in the NFL, right? And that's his
I
ceiling,
agree.
and we've seen him get pretty damn close to that.
Yes, we have.
On the flip side, what's Dak's ceiling? Really?
A good, above-average quarterback.
Which is what he is now.
Exactly.
I don't know if there's a lot of room to grow there, but they're going to have to pay him like he's elite.
But if Carson continues to be injured, if he doesn't get to that next level,
Yeah.
then it looks like Dallas is getting a better bargain than the Eagles are getting, and it looks like the Eagles might overpay Carson.
Well, sure, and
Yeah.
injury is something that,
Yeah.
I mean, what are you going to do? If Carson Wentz can't stay healthy, he can't stay healthy. There's certainly a case to be made for waiting to pay him to see if he can play this season. But even if Carson Wentz plays this season, he doesn't shed the injury-prone label.
Right.
He played all 16 games in his rookie year, and we're still talking about it being
Absolutely.
injury-prone. So at some point, the Eagles are going to pay Carson Wentz, and if he gets injured, he gets injured. He still has a higher ceiling, and he's worth more money to me than Dak Prescott.
I agree with you 100%. Can't wait to see how it all plays out.
did?
Yes, I did say that
I like
on
it.
this Tuesday. For the whip around, taking a look at a couple of stories around the league, and we start in Cleveland where expectations are through the roof. Check out this quote from Odell Beckham Jr. I plan on being there for the next 5 years and trying to bring as many championships there as possible, turning the Browns into the New England Patriots, the new Patriots, I should say. All right, wait a minute. The Browns, the new Patriots, are you buying what he's selling here?
You know, yesterday I was kind of driving the Browns Hype Express.
Right.
Today I'm going to go ahead and slam the brakes on that. What does Odell Beckham Jr. know about being the Patriots? And I love Odell. He's a great player, one of the best receivers I've ever seen. He's played in the league 5 years. He's had one winning season. And now he's going to a team in the Browns. I get it. They have a lot of talent.
Yes.
When was their last winning season? Oh, back in 2007. When's the last time they won their division? 1989.
Yep.
I mean, before you can be the Patriots, you've got to be what? Like the Colts? You got to be the Titans? Like be another team before you're the Patriots. Let's take baby steps here.
Is it possible we see the Browns in a Super Bowl in the next 5 years?
Sure. I mean, they seem to have a good young quarterback, and that's what you need. Baker Mayfield, if he continues to grow and he is a franchise quarterback, yeah, they have that chance. But they have a nasty, excited players, and they should be fun, but they've lost a lot of games there. It's not like that just evaporates. The Patriots?
It's easy to get caught up into their roster right now because it is loaded on both sides of the football, no question about it. But you're in one of the more rugged divisions in the league. It is a division that is owned by the Steelers and the Ravens. Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh still in the division. And now you got the up-and-coming Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs out there. I could see maybe the Browns getting to the playoffs 1 or 2 times over the next 5 years, but getting into the Super Bowl, I just don't see. It's Cleveland. It's like like the most jinxed franchise in the history of pro football.
It's amazing. And, I mean, maybe they'll have success, but to mention the Patriots, the best dynasty we've ever seen. They go to the AFC Championship game every year to a place the Browns just don't go. They go to the AFC Championship game every year to a place the Browns just don't go.
Yeah.
So to bring up the Patriots is kind of crazy.
All right, I understand his optimism. I'll give him that much. All right, Le'Veon Bell, another huge star who changed teams this offseason, now with the Jets. He attended the first week of the voluntary camp, but he missed the next week. This was his explanation on Instagram, which read in part, "When it's time to play football, I got to stick to the formula that I know works for me to be the best player I can be. I'm not just trying to win football games. I want a ring." Dave, you cool with what Le'Veon is saying?
Yeah, sure. I mean, if the issue is he didn't go to some voluntary workouts, who cares? If he's there for the mandatory stuff and if he shows up to some of the OTAs, I'm fine with that. I understand the optics aren't great. Here's a guy who skipped the season of football and now he's not with his new team. But, hey, look, he's 27 years old. He's played 5 years in this league. He knows what works for his body. As long as he shows up on Sundays, who cares?
Yeah. Initially, my thought would be, when you consider the way his career ended in Pittsburgh, you should try to do some damage control in terms of improving your image. So he made the initial gesture. He showed up for the first full week. And after that, I look at it like this. If the Jets organization is fine with it, then why should anybody else have a problem with it?
Even if they're not. Voluntary, right? I mean, voluntary.
Plus, he's shown, he did this a couple of years in Pittsburgh, too. He didn't show up for a lot of things for the organization. And when it came time to play football, look at the numbers he put up.
As long as he's taking care of his body, as long as he's working out, I don't know why anyone would really have a problem with it. And he has the playbook. It's not like he doesn't have the playbook on his tablet. He can learn the plays.
And, of course, the Jets, who are starving for a winner of any kind, if he turns out and turns on the Jets and does what we know he's capable of doing, then all will be forgotten.
Turns on the Jets.
Turns on the Jets.
See what he did there.
I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice. Practice? We talking about practice, man. We talking about practice. How the hell can I make my teammates better by practicing? Y'all go home and have y'all lovely life, man. Live it up to the fullest.
That was classic. That was 17 years ago today. Allen Iverson's all-time press conference when asked about practice. Now, it got us to thinking, what are some of the best rants in the NFL? And, Dave, I'll let you start first.
This is my favorite one. It's kind of underrated. Hall of Famer Mike Singletary gives us a Hall of Fame performance. He's in 2008. This is when he's the interim head coach of the 49ers. He's talking about tight end Vernon Davis. Let's take a listen.
I'm from the old school. I believe this. I would rather play with 10 people and just get penalized all the way until we got to do something else, rather than play with 11 when I know
This is the best
that
part.
right now that person is not sold out to be a part of this team. It is more about them than it is about the team. Cannot play with them. Cannot win with them. Cannot coach with them. Can't do it. I want winners.
They can't do it.
That's awesome, man.
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
That's a seller right there. I mean, I think a lot of people forget prior to that rant by him, if you remember in the game, when he's chewing out Vernon Davis in the sideline, sends him to the locker room. Vernon's walking off the field. He said, no, come back and get your helmet, too, while you're at it.
It was great.
That was awesome.
Vernon Davis made the Pro Bowl the next year.
Absolutely. All right, here's my submission. Dennis Green, Arizona. Cardinals had blown a 20-point lead on Monday Night Football to the Bears team that eventually went on to play in the Super Bowl, and Green was not pleased.
The Bears are what we thought they were. They're what we thought they were. We played them in preseason. Who the hell takes a third game in the preseason like it's bullshit? We played them in the third game. Everybody played 3 quarters. The Bears are who we thought they were. And that's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
That's a great one.
That's the money shot right
That's
there.
great.
You know, it's funny. A year later, Dennis Green explained, by playing them in the preseasons, we thought we had the perfect game plan for them, and they built a 20-0 lead, a 23-3 lead, and then the bottom fell out, man. And led to that.
You want to crown them?
Yeah.